The news was big, but Elijah Lovejoy wasn't letting on. As Lovejoy laid out his St. Louis newspaper on a July day in the summer of 1836, he tucked a piece of life-changing news into a small space on page 3. Lovejoy was announcing that he was moving his newspaper, The Observer, across the river to Alton, Illinois, and thus leaving town for good. He topped the brief with a spare headline, The Observer, Removal, that gave little hint of the turmoil and threats of violence that had hovered around Lovejoy for months. Nor did the 5-paragraph article convey that Lovejoy's shift to Illinois could have been more accurately described as an inglorious shove out the door. After much deliberation and a consultation with a number of our friends, we have decided hereafter to issue the Observer from Alton, Illinois, Lovejoy wrote. His explanation made only oblique reference to his troubles with local mobs, anonymous threats, break-ins, and acts of vandalism against his newspaper office. So long as duty seemed to require our remaining here, we were determined to remain, at whatever sacrifice of personal comfort, reputation, or safety, he continued. But rather than dwell on those safety concerns, which were already known to many in town, Lovejoy presented his shift across the river as a cool-headed decision to go where the business prospects for the Observer seemed brighter. There is no doubt the paper will be better supported there than it now is, or is likely to be, remaining in St. Louis, Lovejoy wrote. We hope this reason will be perfectly satisfactory to all our good friends in Missouri, who might otherwise think its removal uncalled for. That very issue would be the Observer's last in St. Louis. The bare-bones report was one of the less problematic things Lovejoy had written in recent memory. Tensions over his anti-slavery writings had been creating sparks since the previous year. More recently, Lovejoy had been locked in an on-again, off-again war of words with a St. Louis judge over the horrid public burning of a biracial man. Lovejoy's reaction to the killing had led powerful men in St. Louis to label him an abolitionist, which in those days, in that place, was akin to classifying him as a public enemy. It is quite likely that his detractors would cheer his announcement as a form of surrender. Yet there was another meaning that came through in the notice about his move to Illinois, a tone that sounded more like determination.